Welcome to these daily videos where you start your day in a more conscious way, knowing you're the creator and the chooser of your life, your experiences, no matter what's going on around you. And during these times, this is really important because there can be so many crazy things going on around us and in the news and on social media, and it'll feel like overwhelming, and it feels like the world's falling apart in a way, and kind of like, what is the future going to hold? Like, is it even? Oh my God. And I get caught up in that sometimes too. But we got to go within. We got to remember that we are part of the creation. We are the choosers. We are the ones, individually and collectively, that determine what our future is like. And the energy that we put out affects others, right? The words we say affects others, the things we do and our habits and all of that. So if you know what type of world you want to create, the type of life you want to create for yourself, and then you're going to be in alignment like that, as in act like it, think like it, talk like it, bring it into creation, bring it into being. Or if you believe in multiple timelines like I do, you're going to choose that timeline. I am moving into this timeline. This is the timeline that I will be living in. This is the timeline. This is my intention. This is how I want to live. This is how I want to be. And again, though, it's not about being so nitpicky that you're trying to control everything. And this is what I tend to do. Sometimes we can feel like then I have to control every little aspect. And we need to also co-create with God's source. We need to also be in flow, and we also need to trust. So when you have your intentions and your vision and how you want to, and you're living like that, like I'm talking like that, I'm living like that, I'm doing the things, then we can relax. We got to relax. And because things are going to come up in front of us, then we have a choice, right? This is presented to me, or this situation is happening right now. I have a choice. How I respond, how I react, what I do about it. I can get sucked into it, or I can let it go and say, I'm choosing to be this way. Now, what happened I know I'm going off on topic, Nova Scotia, Canada, which if you're from Canada, you'll know what that is. Couldn't walk in the woods for a bit, being fined. A lot of people stood up and said, no, we're not going to be that controlled. So that's how you can change things too, is by actually standing up for something, being public about it, doing something, right? Showing you're not going to control me in that way. So there are things we can do also that help shift the world, shift the collective, shift things that are going on outside of ourselves. But it's really important to work on the inner side. So let's get going. I have cards, and then we're going to go into the book a little bit, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. First card, 10 of Wands, and this is about feeling struggle, overwhelm. Oh my God, this is a lot. And what we're dealing with now, it can be a lot. We can get caught up in, but it's also our choice. But when you're at the 10 of Wands, is maybe you've been struggling for a while or had this issue for a while, and it's almost at the end. It's like, I've finally worked through this. I'm letting it go. I've turned the corner, I've made my decision, whatever it is, and now on to something new, right? You're at the end of it, like, that was kind of tough, but now I know things will be better. So positive card in that way. And the next card is the Star card, and this is all about understanding the illusion maybe that's in front of you, like things going on in the world. Even though they seem crazy and whatever, we don't know what the outcome's going to be. Like, it's a show. It's kind of like watching a movie, because there's so much going on behind that we cannot ever know, because we won't be told. So it's kind of like that, lifting the illusion, if you choose to, knowing there's more behind it, holding faith, holding trust. Also, this is about time for exploration within, especially those times when the world's going crazy outside. We need to go within, because we control our state of being, our feelings, our emotions, our emotional states, our states, what we think, what we believe. And it takes practice. It takes that knowing and practice, and that's what we do every day, right? You're meeting here to practice conscious awareness. So embrace the mystery, trust that everything is working out for the best. Tell God's source, this is happening now, and I'm choosing for it to happen for my best good. Like, that's what I'm choosing. Like, things are going to get better because I'm choosing it. And tap into your intuition, your inner knowing, and guidance system. It's there for you. Oh, and the oracle card, birds of a feather. And what this talks about is finding your tribe. Sometimes we feel all alone. Let's say if you think differently than some of your family members or friends now, and you feel like there's a divide, like, oh my God, like I can't relate to them very much. Truly, we need to find people that we can now relate to, that are on the path we want to be on, or are on the path that we're working towards, right? And still are, like, who are choosing closer to something that we're choosing. So that we can have that encouragement, that support with each other. Find your community, be in that community. You will feel better. It'll help you. You won't feel so alone. And when people work better when they're together and in community. So that's what that's asking you to do. All right, let's get going with the book. What we're talking about in this is epigenetics. And it's also like, so does your DNA determine exactly what's going to happen to you, and do those things have to happen to you? Genetic makeup. Okay, you have the genetic predisposition for cancer. Will that mean you will get it? No. It does not mean you will get it. You may, but you also may not. We're just going to touch on this today. Just by changing our thoughts, feelings, emotional reactions, and behaviors, example, healthy eating, nutrition, decrease in stress level, we send our cells new signals and they express new proteins without changing the genetic blueprint. So while the DNA code stays the same, once a cell is activated in a new way with new information, the cell can create thousands of variations of the same gene. We can signal our genes to rewrite our future. That means maybe you were on that path to get that. Now you're not. Stressful emotions, as you will learn, actually pull the genetic trigger, dysregulating the cells and creating disease. Absolutely. And this book goes great detail into that too. And you can also look at Bruce Lipton, epigenetics. Bruce Lipton, his book Epigenetics, that's exactly what it talks about. Highly suggest these guys, Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza, because we can control this, right? It does take that practice, watching our thoughts, noticing how we think, going deep within, not getting caught up in the drama that's around us and the stress, not staying in stress and worry. We have emotions. We feel those emotions, but we don't want to get dragged down by them or stay in them. We want to feel them, work through them, see either they're true or they're not true. I don't want them to be true anymore, right? Like something that a diagnosis, let's say. This may be what it is right at this moment, but I'm choosing something different in the future. Your body's really powerful. So is your mind. So is the energy, because you are 99.9 or something percent energy, which is crazy. I don't know what that percentage is, but actually. So then there's so much malleability to us. We were just never taught that. And we need to also believe it, right? Believe it at a deep level. But that comes from repetition, practice, and going over these types of books and listening to podcasts and things that have to do with that, because then you build this belief within yourself and then you can make it so in your life. So thank you so much for being here. I'd love it if you give me a like, comment below. Have you heard of epigenetics? Do you follow Dr. Joe Dispenza or Bruce Lipton? If not, check them out on YouTube. All right, have an absolutely amazing day. See you in the next video.